Hey y'all, so I've been getting asked a lot of questions about the coronavirus, my opinions, and pretty much my standpoint on the coronavirus. I want to make sure I cover all angles, so I do want to get straight to the point with certain things. So, the coronavirus is a virus that pretty much started in Wuhan, China, okay? I think you pronounce it Wuhan. They pretty much reported it at the end of December of last year. So this is 2019. That is why when you see like the name for the virus is 2019 N/CoV or something like that. This is a virus that they are saying typically lives in animals. So they live like in cats, cattle, snakes, bats, etc. What happened was, this is what people are saying. A couple of years ago, there was a girl, she made like a mukbang video. If you don't know what a mukbang video is, it's pretty much a video when people are just eating a whole bunch of food, just sitting there and just eating all this food. We pretty much know it as people getting a seafood boil, like they got them some crab legs, some shrimp, and they just slurping it on up and eating it all over social media. So that is a mukbang video. Apparently, a couple years ago, a very popular influencer in China or something like that, she did a mukbang video eating a bat or something like that. Now, I don't think her video originally took off then, but eventually it took off, and a lot of people were like, ooh, let's try this, whatever. I mean, I don't know why they wanted to try it, and people just eating bats. Now, apparently, they have like this food farmers market type of ordeal in China, where if you go to the market, they sell a lot of stuff you can't get anywhere else. So that's where people are eating dogs and cats and wildlife and just stuff that people typically don't eat. Now, I'm not judging because I do understand that different cultures eat different things. You know, it's some places where people eat rats, okay? Some places where people eat roaches and crickets and caterpillars and just all different types of stuff. So I'm not trying to judge anyone's culture, but that's kind of why we're here at this point. So what ended up happening was the virus ended up spreading from whatever animal that was ate. It spread from animal to human. And once human got infected with the virus, it ended up spreading from human to human. So now we have the coronavirus in humans. So this particular virus is causing respiratory illness. So a lot of people are experiencing like fever, cough, lungs, just respiratory illnesses. It was reported that thousands, tens of thousands of people have been infected. Also, I've seen recently where some articles are even saying hundreds of thousands of people have been infected. I don't know. The article itself says hundreds of thousands may have been affected. So that's not 100%. That's not accurate because they said may. So it seems like they are giving estimates. And from what I've read, only a couple hundred have died. Either way, that's still a terrible number. It's always a sad case when anyone dies. I'm not trying to do the number comparison to make it seem as if it's not bad. It's still bad. Anytime someone loses their life, it's always going to be bad. But it's not a huge percentage of all of those that are infected compared to those who have actually died. And they are saying just like any other virus, the ones who typically die from the virus tend to be the elderly or younger children, like babies. So those are typically the ones who are really suffering the most from this virus. The timing of everything is kind of crazy, and the timing of everything is what is really interrupting the flow of business for a lot of people. As you guys know, the Chinese are currently on holiday, where their holiday should have ended or should have been coming to an end around this point. And what happens every year, they have the Chinese New Year holiday where all of China is pretty much shut down. That is why a lot of businesses tend to slow down, especially if you're drop shipping or if you do the pre-order method. Like your business kind of slows down around this time because your vendors, they're not working, the shipping carriers are not working. Therefore, even if your vendor was working, nothing could get shipped out. What happens during the Chinese holiday, a lot of people work in the big cities. So one of the big cities would be Wuhan, where the virus is originating. During the Chinese New Year, everybody from the big cities, they pretty much travel back home because they've been working in the city this entire time. They miss their families. They want to go back on holiday, spend time with their loved ones, see their mom and dad, their cousins, sisters, brothers, whoever, and spend time with their family. So what's happening is these people that were in this area that has been infected, they have all traveled back home. So that is kind of how the virus has been spreading throughout China, because like I said, this all happened around the same time that the Chinese New Year is coming into effect. Right now, Chinese officials have extended their Chinese New Year. They're trying to pretty much just keep everybody home. That way people aren't moving around, they're not traveling too much, as they are trying to get the virus under control. Now, when it comes to viruses can only survive if they have a living host. What a virus does, which a lot of people have been arguing with me about that statement, which I will come and give more about that statement. But pretty much what a virus is like it's kind of hard to explain a virus. A virus is kind of like a bacteria, but it's not the same. But it's kind of like an infection. And what happens is once it gets to a living host, once it attaches itself to a living host, it can then thrive. It can then populate. It can then multiply by thousands and just continue to copy itself inside of a living host. Its goal pretty much is to take over the living host body. Now, what's a living host? Pretty much anything that breathes, or anything that's alive. So a living host would be humans, animals, plants. Like we're all living. Also, a living host could be bacteria. So when I say that, because a lot of people have been debating me, when I say that a virus can only survive with a living host, that means that it needs the living host in order to survive. A lot of people have been trying to pick apart my sentences, because I've been talking about this on social media. A lot of people really been trying to pick apart my sentences. A lot of people are saying, oh, that's not true. A virus can live on a surface. A virus can live on an object. I never said that was not true. I just said a virus needed a living host in order to survive. Yes, a virus can get onto a surface and it can live on that surface, but it's not more so that it's living on that surface. It's just the fact that it's on that surface, but while it's on that surface, it is dying. Like it's there, it exists, it's on that surface, but its time is running out. Like it's dying while it's on that surface. It would have to quickly attach itself to a living host in order to survive. It needs a living host in order to survive. And it brings a lot of people are concerned. Like, what if I order a shipment from my vendor that's in China? Will my package or will my products somehow be infected with this virus? Well, a virus cannot infect a product because it's not living. It can only infect and thrive with a living host. So yes, the virus can, let's say the virus can get on the package, but while it's on the package, it is dying. It's in the process of dying. Even the CDC said that you should not be concerned about your packages transferring the virus onto you. pretty much with the length of time that it takes to receive your package from China, and also because of the conditions of the items being shipped, it is extremely unlikely for that to happen. It is extremely unlikely for that to happen. And that is because the actual virus needs the living host to survive. So that pretty much lets you know that there should be no worries when it comes to receiving your packages. And I will definitely link the CDC article, their website, down below in the comments so you guys can read up on that. The CDC, if you do not know what the CDC is, it is pretty much the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. It is a government entity, it's a government website. This is a government-based type of ordeal, okay? So these are my opinions. Y'all, this is my opinion. If you know me, you already know. Like, I do not live my life in fear. My personal opinion is that the media is pretty much hyping everything up more than they probably should. Yes, we should be aware that there is a new strand of virus, because the coronavirus is not new. It has actually been around for many years. This is not a new virus. It's just this particular strand of the virus is new. And someone on social media, they pointed out like it's not new. It's on the back of your Lysol bottles. So me, I always keep Lysol in my house because I like to disinfect. I mean, period. So I was like, let me look on the back of my Lysol bottle, and bam. So as I was saying, I am not one to live in fear or be fearful of headlines. I know that the media has a certain way of twisting things. They have a lot of clickbait titles just to get you onto their website, just so that you can read their articles. Sometimes the headline is always 1,000 times worse than what the actual article is saying. A lot of these articles, I'm clicking on them, I'm actually reading them, and I can see that they are really trying to hype it up, make it worse than what it is. Now, on top of that, of course, I do feel like because there are hundreds of people losing their lives, that it is very important that we know about this information, that we definitely should research and look into these things and keep an eye on it. I definitely believe that we should do those things. However, I'm not allowing this to stop my business. I've seen a lot of other entrepreneurs. I'm in a lot of different Facebook groups, and a lot of people are saying discouraging things, telling people they should close down their business, which was just crazy to me. How could you tell someone else to close their business over a virus? As you guys know, this is not the first virus that has ever hit our nation, our country, or the world. Remember when they had the H1N1? They really hyped that one up. Remember when they had the Ebola, whatever it was called. See, I don't even remember what it was called. But remember we had that, and they really hyped it up, and people were scared to leave their homes. Like, we have the Zika virus. We have a new virus almost every year, every other year, and people lose their entire minds. The media just hypes it up. People are running around acting crazy. They want to stay in their homes. You cannot allow fear to interfere with you. You cannot allow fear to stop you. You cannot just go based off of the media's hype. Like, the media is always going to hype things up. Like, that's their job. They also have to make sure they're keeping up with these gossip sites, these gossip, messy sites. The news, like, they see those sites as their competition. So they play dirty just like everyone else. They want to be the first person to break news. They want to be the first person to report on a certain matter. So the news has a way of doing that. That's why I just don't allow the news and all of the hype and the fears to really stop what I have going on. Like, I've just never been that type of person. So, I mean, a lot of people just scared. I mean, I guess it's normal to be scared. It's normal to have fear. It's not in my nature to be that way personally. But if you are going to be scared or fearful to order products from China, then you must understand that this is the United States. The United States imports maybe 500 billion, not million, not thousand, not hundred, $500 billion worth of imported goods and stuff comes from China every single year. Almost, I can guarantee almost everything in your house, if you were to pick it up and look at the label, it is going to say made in China. Almost everything is made in China. So a lot of people, they're so concerned. They're concerned and worried about their business, their hair weaves, their lashes. But you have to understand, if you're going to be worried about everything. Be worried about the rag you wiped your face with this morning if you washed your face. Be worried about the cup you just picked up, because that cup of coffee that you picked up from that restaurant, well, that restaurant, they get all of their cups from China. Be concerned with everything. I feel like if Walmart not going out of business, if Target not going out of business, then why should you? Because you're not the only business, you're not the only industry that is receiving products from China. And being that this virus really came to light, this particular strand of the virus really came to light in December, and it's the end of January, and we're just now finding out about it at the end of January, you should be concerned about all purchases you have made from December up until now. Yet, you're not concerned or worried about those things. You're still alive. You're still breathing. So, like I said, I don't really feed into the hypes. I really don't feed into the fears. There have been people saying, because as you guys know, vendors are giving out different messages. So with the Chinese holiday pretty much coming to an end, some people, their vendors already started accepting orders. Other people, their vendors are saying that they won't accept orders until the end, until maybe the second week of February. So a lot of people are saying like, oh, of course your vendor is going to tell you there's absolutely nothing to worry about. Of course your vendor is going to say that because they just want to make money. So you really shouldn't believe anything your vendor is saying, etc. So there are people out there that's saying that. My response to that is pretty much, if you honestly do not trust your vendor, then why are you doing business with them? If you feel like your vendor is money hungry, that they really don't care about anything, the only thing they care about is money, then that probably should not be your vendor to start with. Many of us, we have been in business for a lot of years. As most of you know, I found my vendors back in like 2011, 2012, before I even knew I wanted to have a hair company. And I've been ordering from them. These people are like friends of mine that are in China. I trust my vendors, and I do not feel like my vendor would tell me anything false, or that my vendor would mislead me because they are just money hungry. Like, if you have a real relationship with your vendor, then you should be able to trust and believe what your vendor is saying. When it comes to those who are doing the pre-order system and those who are drop shipping. Now, before the Chinese holiday got here, I did remind you guys to go ahead and watch my video that I made a year or so ago about what to do and how to prepare for the Chinese holiday. So during the Chinese holiday, you pretty much have a couple options I suggested in that video. So one of the options was pretty much to make your website under construction. Your website is temporarily down. Maybe you're going to update your website, come back with new graphics on your website, or it's just pretty much your website is set to under construction. The second option that you have is to run a sale. So you run a sale on your website and pretty much tell your customers that the processing time and shipping time will be delayed. The third option would be to stock up on inventory. As you guys can see, yes, I have been doing the pre-order system, but I made sure I stocked up on inventory during this Chinese holiday. Now, a lot of people, they chose the second option, which they are running a sale and they are telling their customers it is going to be an extended processing period. Those people are now concerned because some vendors will not be returning back from holiday as suspected due to the current virus. I will say it's very important to always keep it real and honest with your customers. You can simply just let your customers know, hey, the processing period is going to be delayed a little longer. As you guys know, the virus is causing a lot of major delays in shipment worldwide. So it's just going to take a little bit longer. You know, just keep it honest, keep it real with your customers. Let them know what's going on. Let them know the reason why there is going to be an extended delay on their packages and on their items. If your customer is not buying that, if they just say, give me my money back, then it's simple. You give them their money back. Unfortunately, this is the part of business. Everybody want to start a business because they think it's going to be easy. Well, guess what? Shit happens in business. So it's time to step up to the plate, put your boss pants on, and it's time to start acting like a business owner, okay? Everything in business is not promised. Nothing is promised. So never promise your customers anything. If your customers are growing impatient, never say, I promise to you, I swear to you that I'm gonna have your package out on Monday. Like, never make promises, never swear, because you don't know, anything can happen at any given time. That's why in business it's always good to have a backup plan, a plan A, B, C, D, Z, if you need a Z, okay? It's always important to have backup plans. And it's always important to prepare for the unexpected. This is business, this is real life, okay? Business is not easy. But it's important to know, even when business gets tough, it's not tough for long. It's only like that for a period of time, and then everything picks back up again. Business is pretty much a roller coaster ride. There are many ups and downs, dips and turns. You're gonna lose a lot of money, you're gonna gain a lot of money. Business is risky. Business is risky, and I can't say that enough. So it's just real life. This is business. If this is your first time experiencing something like this in business, then I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know more things like this are going to occur in the future. So just allow this to be a learning lesson. But overall, my opinion is I'm not going to stop my business. I'm not going to delay my business. As you guys can see, I actually have products on hand, products in stock. I have talked with my vendors. My vendors have already went back to work, okay? My vendors do not work in Wuhan, China. My vendors are already back to work. They're just unable to ship out any products, just like many of your vendors. Because they are still trying to get the virus under control, a lot of shipping agencies, they just believe it's best that everyone stay where they are instead of returning back to work until the virus is actually clear. They're not stopping people from shipping out packages because they're scared that the packages will transfer a virus, which is highly unlikely for that to happen. That's not the reason why the shipping companies have not returned to work. The reason is because they're really trying to get the virus under control, and they just don't want humans being in contact with each other. As of now, most of the shipping companies have not made any official statements on their websites. I know DHL last made a statement on their website on the 28th, which was 2 or 3 days ago, depending on when I upload this video. I'm not sure. So and then they were expected to return back to work on February 3rd. So it's important to just closely watch all of the shipping companies, their actual websites. They will give updates on their actual websites. That way you don't have to hear updates Because right now, all of the different times that people are hearing February 2nd, February 3rd, February 10th, February 12th, those are coming from vendors. Those aren't actually coming from the actual shipping facilities. So that might be the time that your vendor is out of work. Your vendor may be out of work until that time period, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the shipping companies will be out of work until that time period. So it's important that you stay up to date with what's going on with the shipping carriers. Also, and just to add this in, because I feel like somebody's going to mention it in the comments. Somebody's going to say, oh, they put up a global warning announcement saying that it's a global issue now. If you guys, honestly, if you actually read the news articles that are posted, never just read the headlines. Read the actual article. The only reason why there is a global issue warning or whatever it's called, the only reason why that is going out is because, not because they're concerned about us, like the United States, Canada, China, or any other major country. It's just they are concerned for the countries that don't have access to the same healthcare that we have access to. A certain virus like this could go to those particular countries and could really do harm because those people don't have the necessary resources to heal themselves or to heal themselves of this actual virus. So that's the only reason why there's like a global issue that has recently gone out. It's not because they are scared that people globally are just going to drop off and die. Like, better believe the United States or whoever, they're going to get this under control. We have way too many smart people on this earth for them not to get it under control. We have way too many funds and money, and just people are brilliant. They're going to get this under control soon, okay? I have faith in our government. I have faith in other governments. So a month from now, y'all gonna look back at this and just be like, I was scared. I was scared. And you probably wouldn't even had a reason to really be scared. Also, just to add this in there, a lot of people, after hearing about the virus, a lot of people have been saying, oh, that's why I have US vendors, that's why I have Indian vendors, Cambodian vendors, Vietnam vendors, etc. Honestly, that's great and all, but that's not, if you're really scared, then having vendors in all those places, you should still be scared, because for one, where do you think the United States get their hair from? No one in the United States is cutting hair off of their head. Vendors are typically getting their hair from China, right? And guess what? China has the virus. The United States have reported viruses. India has the virus. Vietnam, Cambodia, all of these places have the virus now. All of those places have the virus. Almost 20 different countries have the virus. So a lot of people have been saying, oh, I'm good because my vendor's not from China. Listen, we're all in the same boat. That's why it's extremely important not to allow fear to really affect what you got going on. But nonetheless, you guys, it's your business. You are the boss. You are able to do whatever it is that you want to do with your business. If you want to take your business offline for a month or however much you want to do, then that is your prerogative. You can do whatever you want to do with your business. There is no right or wrong. At the end of the day, people have lost their lives because of this virus, and because of that, it is okay to be cautious. It is okay to be concerned. It is okay to have questions. All of that is okay because people have actually lost their lives. But I would say just stay on top of it, do your research, and always make the best decision for you and your business and company. So I'm definitely curious to see what are you guys doing during this time frame? How are you guys feeling? What are your thoughts or perspectives? Even if it's different from mine, that is 100% okay. Let's just have a discussion in the comments. Maybe something you're doing will help the next business owner who's unable to get inventory during this time. Maybe there's some sort of advice or tips that we can give each other just to get through this time period. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it's long. If you watched it all the way to the end, do a thumbs up on this video. Go ahead and like this video so I can see who's really rocking with me. And until next time.